As it stands right now, based on the current polling where Kamala Harris is absolutely destroying Donald Trump, Trump cannot afford to lose a single bit of support right now. And based on what we're seeing among some of his most loyal followers, it seems like Donald Trump is losing a lot of support right now. Now, when I say losing support, I don't necessarily mean that he is losing these people's votes. But what I do mean is that these people have lost faith in him and his campaign. In other words, a lot of people who have invested a lot of time and energy into promoting Donald Trump and who have made names for themselves promoting Donald Trump, they're starting to realize, even if they're not there yet ready to admit it, but they're starting to realize that this man is in fact a loser. Here is what Laura Loomer, who, of course, people only know her name because of her obsession with Donald Trump and her promotion of him and, of course, weird random things on social media. But Laura Loomer had this to say about Donald Trump's downward spiral. President Trump needs to make some serious changes in his campaign ASAP. The ground game is not sufficient. The offense is lacking. The communication is dismal. The momentum is crashing. Why are people who want to assist being pushed away instead of being embraced? Now, I'm not sure 100% if that means that Laura Loomer wants the job. I mean, you've run for office and humiliated yourself doing so, so you don't exactly have the best campaign experience available. But at the same time, I can't imagine that you would be worse than the people Trump currently has working for him. So I don't know, at this point, Donald, may as well give it a try, right? I mean, it's not going to hurt you any worse than it already has. And in a weird situation here, I actually agree with like almost everything that Laura Loomer says there. They have no ground game. The campaign is dismal. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have any lines of attack whatsoever that are resonating with the American public. And there is a very important reason for that. It's not just that people like the Harris-Walz ticket. I do think overwhelmingly they do. But I think the reason the polls have shifted so dramatically in recent weeks was because people on the left and probably on the right were grossly underestimating how much the public did not want Biden to be the nominee. Not saying that they hate Biden, they hate his policies. They had just been looking at him for months and months now, realizing this guy can't do it, right? He's not there anymore. And I'm not necessarily talking about just mentally. I'm talking about he's old. He did his service to this country for decades, and the public was ready to move on from him. And once the Democratic Party moved on from Biden, all of those fence sitters that said, well, I prefer Democrats, but Biden can't do it, so maybe Trump, all those people said, sweet, I'm all in for Harris-Walz. That is a big part of this. People who were disinterested in this campaign because, oh, it's Biden and Trump again, oh God, they suddenly became interested. So it's not just that Trump is running a bad campaign. He is, definitely. It's that Biden leaving the race gave people something to be actually excited about. It's not a rerun of 2020 anymore, and people like it. But I wouldn't be sitting here talking about this if it was only Laura Loomer that has clearly lost faith in Donald Trump. Oh no! Even people that he enjoys having a nice lunch with no longer support him, which of course includes the white nationalist Nick Fuentes. Fuentes got on social media recently and said this: "The Trump campaign is in a death spiral. I have been saying it since he announced in 2022, and especially in the past few months. Everybody said I was insane. He has no ground game, no ad spending. Vance sucks, and the messaging is totally unfocused. He will lose if nothing changes." Again, another very awkward situation where I have to agree with somebody that I absolutely despise, but Fuentes, for the most part, is correct here. I don't think when Trump announced he was running for office in 2022, anybody could have predicted the way this race was going to go. At the time when Trump announced, it already seemed like, yeah, he's got that nomination on lockdown. The only person who may have been able to beat him at the time he announced was Ron DeSantis, whose campaign went down in flames. So I don't think Nick Fuentes predicted this at all. The people calling him insane, yeah, you know what? Just on a personal note there, I'm probably going to agree with them too. But once again, another Trump ally, a guy that got to go to Mar-a-Lago and have a nice meal with Donald Trump because Trump didn't know who he was, allegedly. He's out there saying, like, this guy can't do it. This campaign is utter garbage. There's more. Conservative pundit John Cardillo, who claimed on Twitter that the far-right activist group Turning Point USA and other pro-Trump groups are out of their depth. He said, quote, "Guys, we do not have a ground game. Outsourcing that most critical function to TPUSA Action and two other untested PACs are not the actions of a campaign serious about winning. Frankly, it's insane." Again, having to agree with a horrible person here, because even a stopped clock is correct twice a day. But I do think that the Trump campaign knows how bad things are. I mean, Trump is out there lying about the polls. He's lying about Harris's crowds, all of that. Lie, 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 lie. His advisors are lying to him and telling him, no, everything's great. Emperor, you are wearing wonderful, beautiful clothes. They see that he's naked, but they have to lie to make him feel good. But they know how badly this campaign is going for him. And on the ground game issue, what is Donald Trump's ground game? Rallies. Getting out there in front of people, energetic, enthusiastic, riling up the crowds. Well, the last rally he did this past weekend in Montana, that crowd looked bored to tears. They were all like looking around. I mean, I did a video on it over at Ring of Fire. The crowd looked like they didn't even want to be there. Trump sounded like he didn't want to be there either. Trump is old. Trump is tired. Trump should not be doing this, and the Republicans should not be letting him be their nominee. But after January 6th, the Republican Party had a choice. Do we excommunicate Donald Trump for good? We can, go forward with this impeachment. We can convict him. We can get him out forever, kick him out of the party, never deal with it again, and move on. But they chose not to do that. And when they made that choice, during that second impeachment, that's when they sealed their own fate. That's when they said, this is Trump's party and Trump's party alone. And from there, things have only gotten worse for them. Donald Trump has now taken over the Republican National Committee. The RNC is under Trump's control. So even if he loses this election, he still has that, vice-like grip on the Republican Party. So he's not just going to take them down this November. He is going to continue pulling them down, possibly for years to come. And they all see it. Even some of Trump's most ardent, passionate supporters. They see what's happening. And each and every one of them is powerless to stop what is coming. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.